Bollywood is an escape from reality. A journey to a dramatic, usually happier world. So why then has Bollywood's latest offering, Padmavati, from one of India's most respected directors, sparked this?
The deadly twist in the Padmavati row. And now a dead body was found hanging at the Nahargarh fort in Jaipur in Rajasthan.
Protests have turned violent. Demonstrators writing their demands in blood.
It is seditious. It is something that is made only to insult Hindus.
One major politician calling for the film's director and lead actress to be murdered.
If anyone beheads them, we will award $1.5 million to that person.
The tale in question is ancient, a story every child in India knows. A Hindu queen marries the Rajput ruler of Chittor, only to see him killed in a duel. Then, as Alauddin Khalij, the Muslim Sultan of Delhi, comes to capture her, she takes her own life. A story of love and honour on the surface, but critics say a scene depicting an affair between the Queen and the Sultan distorts history and offends the Rajput people. However, not only is it agreed by most historians that Padmavati never existed, the real clincher, according to the film's director,
through this video, I am once again reiterating that there is no such sequence in our film.
Films in India have to go before a censorship board before they can be released. By law, it means a film shall not be certified for public exhibition if, in the opinion of the authority competent to grant the certificate, the film or any part of it is against the interests of the sovereignty and integrity, the security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency or morality, or involves defamation or contempt of court, or is likely to incite the commission of any offence. In this case, critics argue the security of the state is compromised by Padmavati's release. Censorship is nothing new in India. Dozens of films have been banned over the years, some for their adult content, but others for their portrayal of historic events. Now, however, filmmakers are united and are fighting back.
Our job is expression, and now we are forced to fight for the freedom of expression. Why?
Padmavati's release has already been delayed, and the censorship board has yet to make a decision. Forced to rule on a much wider question of what India values more, peace or freedom of expression. Kim Vanel, The Newsmakers.
Well, joining me now from New Delhi is former Army General Dr. Himanshu, now a spokesman for Karni Sena, the group leading the protest against the film. Also in New Delhi is Madhu Keshwar. She's the founder of the human rights organization Manushi. And completing our panel, we have journalist and film critic Anna Vetikad. Let me start with you, Himanshu. You don't like the film. You want it to be banned. In a sentence, tell me what's wrong with the film.
Well, the corollary that is being drawn, the parallel, that I think is not correct. It has nothing to do with censorship. Firstly, it was an irresponsible statement on the part of one of the leading actors in the film, Padmavati, who is playing the character Alauddin Khilji, Shri Ranveer Singh Ji, who probably enjoys or has a special relationship with the leading lady in the movie. He made a responsible statement when asked by the media people that is he not risking his career at this stage when he's doing so well by playing a villain. He said if he can have few intimate scenes with the concerned leading lady, then he's ready to risk playing the villain. This all did raise certain apprehensions in certain sections of the society because the character the leading lady is playing is a very revered one.
Okay,
it's
so
it's very near and dear to millions of people.
Let me ask you, have you
seen a respected character?
Have you seen the scene? Because the director says there's no such scene that actually exists. So they're saying that all your anger and your response is for something that doesn't even exist?
No, I don't agree with that, because the producer and the director of the movie, they were approached, and the censor board also, and various government departments were approached by responsible citizens, including High Court justices, retired, academia, and certain people who know the folklore and other specialists in the regional matters. India, as you should understand, is a multi-ethnic country. It's a delicate situation.
Yeah, but
the diversity of this country is its
certainly,
strength.
And I don't mean to disrespect you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to come in here. Look, it's helped. A delicate situation is only a delicate situation if enough angry people claim it's a delicate situation. Your group, Karni Sena, attacked the director and vandalized the set at the very beginning, which brought this into the spotlight.
That is again, I protest.
You did not attack the set?
In fact, they had come after. No, it is being misquoted and misunderstood. Let me clarify. 6 months prior to this incident, the concerned person we did apprise him, we did ask him for an explanation of our apprehensions, and if he could have answered that with sensitivity and sensibility, it could have been nipped in the bud. He chose not to answer. I understand, I give him a benefit of doubt. Why should he answer to every Tom, Dick and Harry? We served him a notice also, to which again he chose not to answer.
Okay.
He could have answered. And
okay, so Himanshu, you wanted it nipped in the bud.
Clarification.
Certainly.
So let me one sentence.
Okay. Okay, you wanted it nipped in the bud, right?
One sentence.
But
when he was approached, the incident you are mentioning, sir, when he was approached, there also the people had gone to seek the explanation, because everybody can't go to that city.
So you wanted an explanation.
Probably fired.
And
although they fired in air, but that was a provocation.
Okay. You say it's a provocation. Things have unraveled as a result of it, and now we're seeing politicians offering bounties for the beheading of the director and the lead actress. Just for the record, do you find that to be as repulsive as millions of other people find that, or do you find that justifiable?
No, I don't think any form of violence, and please quote it, underline.
Yeah.
Quote, underline. We don't justify and we do not advocate, rather we condemn and dissociate ourselves as a disciplined organization, responsible organization, of any form of violence, because we are people who waited for 1 year. Now, everybody's response or protest, we have to understand human psychology may not be one and same. We can't be held accountable for everybody who does something. The way people respond differently. These are certain sections of the society with whom we do not associate and we do not agree, and rather certain things we condemn also, like chopping
and you've put that quite clearly. Fair enough.
Is our organization. One sentence, allow me. Allow me. Here we are fighting for the dignity of a lady, who is held in high esteem. How can we be associated with some irresponsible statement like that? Would that be dignified, chopping off the lady's nose? We condemn that.
I'm glad to hear that.
However,
Madhu Kishwar.
We expect equal sensitivity.
Fair enough. Okay, Madhu Kishwar, does Himanshu have a point, and is his protest justified? Should the film be banned?
Firstly, you cannot ask for a ban of a film before you know what is in it. Now, there I think Himanshu has a point that many attempts were made to get the directors to share the manuscript. Now, some would say that amounts to pre-censorship. I see it differently. When you're dealing with a concrete historical figure, in that case, if there are historical records and there are actually descendants of that particular royal family, then you need to demonstrate that you have done due diligence and you could have taken into account the questions being raised, shared the script, and brought them on board. It was easy.
Right.
I have no idea why it was not done.
Madhu, let me...
Despite...
Certainly.
One more. This is not the first time that people are offering bounties and people are issuing death threats. For example, in the case of Salman Rushdie, Taslima Nasreen, this was done and it was made to acquire a certain legitimacy. Let me also tell you, way back in the 1980s, it was feminist organizations which had led a movement to ban the obscene portrayal of women and obscenity being described in the most vague, idiotic terms. Now, there's already a law that was brought in by so-called progressive feminists, which could easily be invoked to get so many things banned. Mine was the lone voice to warn my feminist sisters that they were inviting trouble and the law would only be misused,
right,
etc. Now
okay.
that history is forgotten.
Okay.
And the very same people who invoked that law are today standing for freedom of expression.
Okay, fair enough. And I have a... Certainly, okay. You see a contradiction. I'm going to ask that question I had in mind for you a little bit later on. I want to bring Anna in here. Anna, do you understand that given the sensitivities, given the hundreds of millions of people who disagree on some very fundamental things and that they hold to be very sacred, when it comes to cinema and when it comes to freedom of expression, sometimes we have to be a little bit careful in order to prevent riots, in order to prevent absolute public disorder. Anna, do you accept that that might have to be the case, that there might need to be some caution here?
Imran, what is the definition of caution? This is a perfect example of victims being blamed for the violence that is being perpetrated by the Karni Sena. This gentleman, Himanshu, who is on your show just now, very clearly said something unwittingly that I think perfectly illustrates what every filmmaker's reaction has to be to violent organizations like this. He said that a filmmaker, he understands, cannot respond to every Tom, Dick or Harry. And that is the truth. The Karni Sena is every Tom, Dick or Harry. They have absolutely no right to demand a script from a filmmaker. There is only one organization in this country that is authorized to be filtering films, and in fact, the actions of that organization, in fact, in itself are under scrutiny, the Central Board of Film Certification, because there are many liberals who feel, including many liberal filmmakers, that the Central Board of Film Certification should not have a right to cut films and should not have a right to do anything beyond rate films as adult or non-adult. Who is Himanshu to be asking for the script of a film from a filmmaker? I'll tell you why they are doing it. Imran, they're doing it because they were nobodies till a few months ago, and now they are somebodies sitting on TRT World and being covered by international organizations and the national media, and this gives them a huge platform to enter into the electoral fray if they choose to. First thing, and the second point is, I am so shocked that Madhu Kishwar is actually sort of supporting the Karni Sena. It doesn't matter that Padmavati was or wasn't a historical figure. There are many historians who dispute her very existence. But even if she did exist, you cannot give the law into the hands of violent organizations that have not only threatened violence against the team of this film, but have actually indulged in violence.
So let's get Madhu's response. Madhu?
You know, it's so easy to twist somebody's argument out of shape and emote so profusely. The point that I made is this. Either she is being treated as a historical figure or she's not. Now, the filmmaker needs to make a clear statement. Is she a fantasy creature? In which case, it will be treated differently. But they are using Alauddin Khilji, whose existence nobody doubts. Okay, he is a historical figure, right. And there is.
But Madhu, this is connected to my. Hold on. I want to add a question to it. It's connected to my other question. Madhu, 1 second. Madhu, 1 second. It's connected to my other question. Give me a second, if you don't mind. I beg you. For example, Braveheart. It stinks historically. William Wallace was real. It stinks historically. Mel Gibson did a complete butchering of history. Historians said it was a bad job. People disputed it. There's 50 videos on YouTube to show you the historical inaccuracy. But so what? It's a piece of art. Why don't people get over it, Madhu?
By all means, if you say it's a piece of art, the point is that that Bollywood, sadly, has a very bad track record in dealing with history. In Hollywood, you have a mixture of all kinds, which is the good, the bad, and the indifferent. In case of Bollywood, it has a consistent track record of gross distortion, no matter who the theme is, whether Hindu, Muslim, Christian, whatever. You know, I'm not talking about Hindu sensibilities, I'm not talking about Rajput sensibilities. Even Mughal emperors and their lives have been really beaten out of shape. They bear no resemblance. The point that I'm trying to make is simply this. If it is history, and there are people who own that dynasty or who are people, like for example, if somebody wanted to make a film on Anna's grandmother, now Anna would have a right to simply, one second,
Okay, hold on for a second. I want to bring in Himanshu. Hold on for a second, because we're running out of time. Listen, there are 2.5 minutes left, so I want to bring in, hold on, both of you, please, if you don't mind. I want to bring in Himanshu for a second. Himanshu, can you respond to the claim that you are every Tom, Dick, and Harry here, and you're just using mob tactics to silence people you don't like? It's change your film or else, which has created chaos on the ground right now. Respond to that.
No, we haven't. We rather accuse the producer and director of this movie that they have created because they are soliciting controversy deliberately. As we see, some controversy which could have been very amicably and very reasonably, logically, with wisdom, could have been resolved and nipped in the bud. They have allowed it to grow deliberately because they seek cheap publicity, which gives them TRPs. What the lady is accusing us of, we can accuse the same. There's no end to finger pointing. I'm not trying to play a referee, but could not it have ended amicably? Could not, and it is not any Tom, Dick, and Harry. They were High Court justices, retired, by the way, who had approached. They were academia. They were not any Tom, Dick, and Harry. They are authorities in the folklore. They are authorities in history. They were the people. Are they? They are nobody. So they have acted very irresponsibly. Could not the actor have restrained himself making such irresponsible statements? Well, what is the relationship between the two is their personal matter. We are not bloody any peeping Toms. That is their purpose. But then, when you speak about an icon, I think you need to be responsible.
Okay.
That is what we are pleading.
Okay, so Anna,
I'm the voice of sanity.
Okay.
I'm trying to raise the voice of sanity.
Anna, final response from you, please.
In this country, frankly, somebody has been killed. Somebody has been killed. And somebody has made stupid type of remarks which in a way trigger communal type of tensions.
Okay.
Here is, try to understand.
Understood.
Malik Muhammad Zaisi,
there's a
Muslim, wrote
context.
such a beautiful,
Understood.
we are not idiots.
Okay.
Just a minute, just allow me one sentence. Allow me one sentence.
Okay, go for it.
Allow me one sentence. Malik Muhammad Zaisi, a Muslim, has written such a beautiful piece of art. It's a piece of literary classic. We appreciate that. How is it that the discourse or narrative is being changed to? We are not responsible for that.
Okay.
I'm also saying any Tom, Dick, and Harry raising stupid comments or relating to us is not our responsibility. And we have moved to court. We have knocked every door. We have knocked every government and every door. We have done our job.
Imran, this is totally bizarre. First, his organization indulges in violence. Then he says they are not responsible for the violence. It's as simple as this. We have elections coming up in a very important
He fired the shot. He fired the shot. Correct your facts. Correct your facts. He fired the shots.
Has been supported by the present ruling party. Therefore, the Karni Sena knows that they have their support and they have used this to get publicity for themselves. And as it happens, Madhu Kishwar is also a supporter of the ruling party, which is why she is justifying the misbehavior and the hooliganism of the Karni Sena. Padmavati, in all probability, was a mythical queen. For this whole brouhaha to have been raised about a mythical queen in a film that neither Madhu Kishwar nor Karni Sena has seen is beyond ridiculous.
Pompous. You sound like a pompous ass. You're not listening to people and you are just pontificating. You don't even know who you're talking to. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know what the history of those respective people are. Stop behaving like...
From violent organizations like Karni Sena and people like Madhu Kishwar who couch their support for such violent organizations in sophisticated terms.
Okay.
She just called a pompous act because
would you support the publication of satanic verses? Would you allow and support the ban on satanic verses to be lifted? Would you support it? I'll take
You
a PIA
better.
tomorrow. Will you
That's a
support
very
it?
silly question to ask to a woman who was a child when the satanic verses was banned.
I don't want to go down
Okay.
Salman Rushdie. I don't want to talk about Salman Rushdie. That's another segment.
Today.
Okay,
So-
Anna and Madhu and Himanshu.
So,
Okay.
Would you support?
Okay, Anna,
Would you support
Himanshu,
it?
and
With
Madhu.
the
I've got to
same
move on. I've got
I
other
will
guests
file
lined up.
a PIA. Will you support it?
Okay, I've
Will
got
you
other guests
support
lined up.
lifting of the
I have
ban
to move on.
On satanic verses?
I have to move on.
you
I've got
support it
other
today?
guests lined up, and I thank you all for joining us here on the Newsmakers. It's clear that opinions differ over the movie Padmavati. Madhu Kishwar, Himanshu, and Anna Vetikad, I thank you for taking the time to join us here on the Newsmakers.